जयति पराशरसूनुः सत्यवती हृदयनन्दनो व्यासः यस्य आस्य कमलगलितं वाङ्मयममृतं जगत्पिबति भुजगभोगाभमुद्यम्य हृद्यं निजभुजं दक्षिणं लक्षणाढ्यं ललितमुद्रिक्तविज्ञानमुद्रं भज भज अनन्तमित्यालपन्तं प्रणतवान् प्राणिनां प्राणभूतं प्रणतिभिः प्रणये पूर्णबोधम् भवदवोष्णेन तातप्यमानान् भुवि परं नाथम् अप्रेक्षमाणान् भुवनमान्येन च अन्येन दोष्णा भवतु भीर्मा इति नः सान्त्वयन्तम् प्रणतवान् प्राणिनां प्राणभूतं प्रणतिभिः प्रणये पूर्णबोधम्.
Krishna says, Karmani akarma yaha pashyet, akarmani cha karma yaha. Where there is karma, there is no karma. Where there is no karma, there is karma. There is no karma even when you think you are very busy, involved in important activities, and your karma does not matter to the world. On the other hand, when you are not busy, not involved in any karma, karma still keeps going and the world is moving on. So, do not think that your activity, namely karma, is the only important activity in the world, and do not think that all other activities are insignificant. Let me give you an example. An elephant is going from Manipal to Udupi. Hundreds of ants are on its body and are moving from head to tail in the direction of Manipal. Whatever may be the extent of the effort of the ants, they will end up in Udupi because the elephant is going to Udupi. So the efforts of the ants are insignificant. Here, the elephant represents the universe as a whole. The universe moves on its karma cycle. We are all like the ants in the universe. What we do is insignificant compared to what goes on in the universe. Who keeps the universe going? It is the supreme force of the Lord. Thus, Krishna shows us that we should not consider ourselves the primary doer. Krishna asks us to look at the inaction while in action and look at the action while in inaction. This remarkable statement of Krishna is universally applicable. It is not about any specific religion or caste, and it is non-denominational. Whatever we do, it pales in significance in front of the doings of the universe. Very often, our people believe in external appearances. They believe that the purity of the external dress we wear reflects our internal purity, which is false. Some do not care about our external appearance when our minds are pure and filled with noble thoughts. On the other hand, some take care to project an outward appearance of extreme traditionality, but their heads are empty and barren. So, one should not judge anybody based on external appearance alone. Another example comes to mind. Krishna used to play pranks during his childhood days, and he used to steal butter and hide women's clothes while bathing in the river. Why did Krishna do this? Is he setting a good example for our youngsters? To understand this, we have to understand the internal structure of the human body. We need to understand the location of the butter in our bodies. There are 7 oceans in our body. They include the salty ocean, the sugar cane juice ocean, the ocean of alcohol, the ocean of butter, the ocean of curds, the ocean of milk, and finally, the ocean of nectar. It is a symbolic description of what is in the universe and our body. There are 7 spiritual centers, 7 glands in our body: the hypothalamus, adrenal, thymus, thyroid, parathyroid, pineal, and pituitary. Our ancient scholars refer to these glands when they talked about 7 oceans in our body. They also symbolize the 7 knots in our body. The 7 spiritual centers are Mooladhara, the root; Swadhisthana, the sacral; Manipura, the solar plexus; Anahata, the heart; Vishuddha, the throat; Agna, the third eye; and Sahasrara, crown of the head. Kundalini Shakti is the power of knowledge in our spiritual centers. The spiritual centers are like switches, and the 7 glands are bulbs. We have to turn on the appropriate switch to activate a specific gland. The key is to know where the switches are. Our instinct resides at the base, Mooladhara, and it is the sexual instinct that is very basic. If we can focus the energy from the base towards the crown, it leads to spiritualism. The basic Kundalini Shakti is near the sexual opening in our body, where the salty wastewater, namely urine, gets rejected from the body, called Lavana Samudra, the salt sea. A few inches above the salt sea resides the Ikshu Samudra, sea of sugarcane juice. In the sacral gland of the pelvic area is the Swadhisthana center, which excites sexual energy. The focus of the mind turns into sexual enjoyment. Then we have the Thymus gland, which refers to the heart. When we hold the red lotus by its stem with the petals pointing downward, it takes the shape of the heart. Here, the stem is like the thymus gland. The thymus gland occupies a tiny space, but the energy that resides in the heart is immense. It has the force to energize the whole body into massive action. It is the seat of the Anahata Chakra. This is also the Hridaya Samudra. The churning of this Hridaya Samudra is analogous to the sea of butter. The butter is also a metaphor for the emotional energy of the heart, which is called bhakti. In the heart resides our jiva, our prana shakti, and also it is the seat of our Bhagavan. Krishna stealing the butter refers to us filling our hearts with bhakti. Bhakti pleases Bhagavan, and he comes to steal this butter from our hearts. when the Gopika ladies kept butter outside, Krishna came to steal what was his. The Gopikas would be very unhappy if he did not come for the butter. When we cross the sea of butter, one begins to cross over the basic urge of sex, and our internal focus shifts from the bottom to the upper portion of the body. Above the thymus gland, we have the thyroid and parathyroid glands in the throat region, which are related to the Vishuddhi Chakra. Our ability to contemplate internally, Antardrishti, resides at this center. It's also the place for the sea of curds. Above the Vishuddhi Chakra resides the pineal gland. It gets its name from the resemblance to the pine tree shape and is the center of awareness related to the Ajna Chakra. It is an exceptional center. It's like the inner voice giving direction to the mind and is in the sea of milk. What is the function of this center? As we get higher and higher, the mind gets purer. Above the pineal gland resides the pituitary glands. The chakra related to the pituitary glands is the Sahasrara Chakra, and it resides just above the head, 12 inches above the head. So our energy field goes beyond our physical body, also known as our aura. Often, what we feel in our minds is reflected through the expressions on our faces. Our aura carries the color of our internal feelings and emotions. Seeing our external aura, one can recognize if we are sad, happy, or angry. When we are standing 2 feet apart from the next person, our internal vibrations can intermingle with the next person's. So, while meditating, one should practice doing it alone so that his mind is not affected by the presence of another person's vibrations. Our ancient folks used to meditate while seated on deer skin or tiger skin. What is the reason behind that? The reason is that if one is a grihastha, he will meditate by sitting on a deer skin to develop a peaceful nature. The deer is the most peaceful animal. If one is a sannyasi, he is already peaceful. He would meditate by sitting on a tiger skin. A sannyasi lives in the forest in the company of wild animals. To develop an emotional bond with the wild animals, he would meditate sitting on a tiger skin. The sea associated with the pituitary glands is called the sea of nectar. It is possible to immerse our minds in the sea of nectar and purify ourselves through meditation alone. We saw why Krishna stole butter when he was a child. He also used to hide the clothes of Gopika ladies while they were bathing in the Vrindavan and would play with them after they came out. They would ask for their clothes back, and Krishna would reply, "What you have done is wrong. It would be best if you had bathed in your clothes. Now you have to apologize if you want your clothes back." They threatened Krishna that they would tell Kamsa the king and have him punish Krishna. But Krishna did not budge. He obliged when they came out from behind the trees, showed their complete form, and begged him to return their clothes. The Lord is always pleased when we surrender to Him by being entirely bare, with pure thoughts in our minds. Krishna was just a child with a very pure and playful mind. The love of the Gopikas for Lord Krishna was nothing but pure love out of devotion. Any lady would shower love on handsome 5-year-old playing pranks with her. It was that kind of spiritual love between the Gopikas and Lord Krishna. There is another exciting story about Krishna. Once he had gone to the forest with his herd of cows and his friends. They felt hungry around noon. They asked Krishna if they could get some food nearby. They looked around and found a home nearby where a yajna was in progress. Krishna told his friends to go there, mention his name, and ask for food. The kids went and stood in front of the house. One gentleman came out and asked why they were there. They said that Krishna had sent them and asked if they could get some food. The person told them that the yajna was in progress and they should go away. They came back to Krishna and related the matter. Krishna told them, "You asked the wrong person. You should have gone from behind the house to the kitchen and asked the ladies there. They know me and would oblige your request." So the kids went again, told the ladies that Krishna sent them, and asked for food. When the ladies heard Krishna sent them, they brought all the food to offer to Krishna, since they knew he was the Bhagavan. When the men learned about this, they felt ashamed. They knew that Krishna was an avatar of God, but they were politically inclined to support Kamsa, the local king. There are many interesting stories we find in Bhagavata that describes the beautiful nature of Krishna.